Hello and welcome to Cadiz. This is Dresden's Tale, episode 32. This is the show where we follow the adventures of Dresden Fane, a dwarf, a warlock, a warrior looking for love, fame, and faith. Our hero exists in the violence of the Keld culture, a place where might makes right, and bad acts are seldom seen to justice. Don't delude yourselves, this is the story of darkness and shadows. But even here, friendship is worth fighting for. It's been a while, folks. I wouldn't say COVID is over, but his back is against the wall. No longer are my days quiet and peaceful. This old man has to work for a living. Then there was the heat. Living up north is all well and good until you have a few hot weeks in a row and realize you don't have an air conditioner. But without adversity, there is no XP, and we have survived the adventure. Now, with Halloween right around the corner, it's time to get Volume 2 back in production. For most of you binge-watching lunatics, this tangent will all seem pretty well irrelevant. If the station is successful, most of you will binge-watch from chapter to chapter without even realizing there was a solid 3-month gap between recording the last chapter and this one. But perspective is important. I do believe I've continued to improve as time goes by. I've released the economic trilogy on nuts and bolts. Part 2 is easily my best work to date. So building off that, the show will keep getting better. My use of storytelling gimmicks, effects, and just my general ability to tell a story can only improve. Come on, am I right? Or am I right? And that is all the intro you're getting today. Our hero is right where we left him, spending the winter on Cadiz. 2 weeks have passed, making it a whole new year. It's Thoth's 6th day, 2052 years after the fall. What kind of a name is Pink Eye? Dresden asked. Garem and Nancy stood on either side of him, but he really wasn't talking to anybody in particular. Hush, his Ronayan friend complained. I want to hear this. It's just weird, he muttered to himself. The governor of Georgetown and the entire island of Cadiz was the legendary figure, Pink Eye. He had not been a quester, but had traveled with the founders of the Stone Clan. Together, they pursued the holy quest, gathering the stones and fulfilling the god's will, thus lifting the ancient curse. According to the stories, Pink Eye once drank from a magical fountain that granted him eternal life, while cursing Mott, the arrow, Cathinder, with endless old age. Other stories were even crazier. Some believe he'd given birth to a motherless daughter by expelling her from his own head. Without doubt, Pink Eye was a notorious womanizer. He may have been the person most responsible for all the negative attributes now prevalent in Stone Clan culture. The things Dresden's pawpaw abhorred. Many hated the man and thought him to be a blight on the entire empire, while others idolized him. Do you really think his daughter just really hatched out of his head? Shh! The speaker was a fully trained bard giving flowery exposition about the challenges the Keld Empire would meet in the coming year. He spoke at length about their two great enemies, the Laraquesh and the Itarians. It had all been revealed even before the quest was done. Each of the three great civilizations each controlled their own corner of a vast planar system connected by magical gates. It was their battlefield, and in the end, only one could survive. Nancy sighed. That is one damn good-looking guy. She looked left and right and threw open her leather vest. Hey, sexy bard! Her heavy breasts acted at their age and swung like bags of sand. Come on, Garem held up his hand. Don't you give a damn about the war? You can't hear anything back here anyway, Dresden sighed. Put those away before you hurt somebody. The dwarf saw a pair of Legend Clan warriors looking on in disgust. Fucking Stone Clan, one mouthed. You're embarrassing us. He reached up to bring her under control, but ended up with a handful of booby. Sorry. She looked down with her crooked smile. Gotta squeeze the other one now. A loud bell saved him. It rang again and again until an explosion of flame erupted in the tree where it was mounted. We're under attack. Dresden looked around but couldn't see anything past the crowd of taller warriors and proles. People were screaming and shouting, threatening to knock him prone. He readied his club and shield, then picked a direction to try to escape the crowd. There! His friends followed him. Garum pointed into the trees. It wasn't the enemy, but Pink Eye himself. He swung across the square on a vine, hanging upside down by his feet. He threw sharpened hurling stars as he went. Getting onto a table, Dresden could see the target. He was pretty sure it was neither Laraquesh nor Hyterion. For all the world, it looked like an old human male in a robe. That was until it backhanded a woman who got too close in her flight to escape. The blow crushed the side of her head like a hammer smashing a gourd. The red-eyed invader turned his gaze, formed a ball of fire in his hand, and hurled it towards a mass of panicked civilians. Dresden launched himself towards the old man in a sprint. Before he'd covered half the distance, 3 of the governor's stars sliced the being's head into bloody ribbons. Come on, Dresden. Quit ogling the fight and let's get in it. Haspern led the charge against a group of enemy trying to carry off a pilfered crate into the wilderness. They looked like old men, but moved like agile warriors when they weren't flinging balls of fire about. Dodging a burst, Dresden hit one hard in the thigh with his war club. Eventually, he would have to pick up a weapon to specialize in, but for now, it didn't matter, as one of his instructors repeatedly told him, right now, you suck with everything, so you at least should have a little bit of fun. Despite the carnage and danger around him, Dresden was, in fact, having fun. He sidestepped, then popped one of the strange men in the crotch. It hurt him, but not to the degree he thought it should. The young warrior would have hit him again, but a metal star took half his head off right in front of his eyes. Ooh, old man guts, Nancy commented sarcastically. He could leave a few for us, the dwarf felt cheated. Spotting another knot of bad guys, Dresden once again dove into the fray. Sidestep right, spin, duck, smack. This time it was he who got a crushing blow to the head. Blood filled his vision as he tried to see his way to safety. He was pretty sure the second thud was a tree he'd walked into. Hold still, you fool, a voice told him. A rush of power flooded through, the pain ending instantly. Wow! A spray of water in the face, and he saw leave. Fuck, that's cold. I didn't better, he told the Ranian. No, but you wanted to, with me right there. That's all you wanted. She handed him his club and ran back towards the battle. Oh, no. Bumping another warrior to the side, he forced himself next to her. You ran off before I could recover. You seemed pretty fucking content with her tongue down your throat, Leith shot back as she chopped off the old man's head. The dock workers had all come together again, not exactly fighting like a unit, but supporting each other where they could. Stop sounding like you care, Garum told her. This is Dresden we're talking about. I don't care one bit, so stop acting like you know something about it, she growled, stepping forward to engage 2 of the grizzled attackers before they could form flaming balls to use against them. You sound like you care, Haspern pointed out. She roared, shattering an enemy's arm. Dresden took another one to the ground, listening intently. Not you too, Leith said. This is ridiculous. We're just friends. She cares, Nancy sang. You shut up, Leith yelled at her. Dresden was back on his feet, kicking his victim hard in the chest. It's no big deal, just friends. That was a big step up from brother's friend or fellow warrior. He'd take it. She was just giving me some space, but honestly, I would have rather spent the day with her. Oh, she stood there looking lost. There was no more enemies to be had. Oh, sure, but I didn't want to crowd you. Nancy looked at the 2 in disgust. Fucking liars. Oh, my friends, how are Dresden's struggles? I'm beginning to think Leith is a little bit of a mess, too. At least he got to fight something today. Who thinks these 2 are ever going to get together? Should they? A dwarf and a running in. What kind of future would they have? Let's talk about that in the comments. I'll tell you right now, marriage between species is pretty damn common. But what about the kids? Well, for Kelds, especially those in the Eastern Alliance, marriage rarely means sexual exclusivity. Married to someone of another species and still want kids? No need to fear. You can always bring in another spouse. A prole maybe, somebody that won't mess things up too bad, but will produce children. Then there's the staff, and at Keld House, the maids and butlers are very, very much a part of the big, close-knit family. Parental rights go to the master by right of strength. But when are they going to be around to raise them anyway? That's right. The houses of the East are a big, mucked-up, lusty web full of drama and good times. Crowded like a brothel, packed like a pen, a warrior's house is a boisterous den, trading in tantrums, crying and whines, of civility, sanity, not even a sign. The Rex hates the X hates the wife chased the cook at a point of a knife. My home is my palace, a place I can lay, for a break in the battle, God show me the way. Leave a like, search my name on Amazon, but most of all, have an absolutely wonderful day.